Auditioning. Thug number one, thug number two.
For slaves.
Prostitute.
There's always the hustle.
Literate basketball players.
Mary had a little lamb.
The thug.
The only narrative that they understand of black life is drug addict, drug dealer, gang member.
I was the hottest black actor in the world after Boys and Hunt. There were people clamoring to work with this young sensation, as long as he did the roles they wanted him to do, which were street kids.
I had been in this thing that is a masterpiece of American cinema, and nobody gave a shit. They really didn't give a fuck.
I auditioned for my first pimp part. My mother's all proud. You know, be the best pimp you can be. The whole church is praying for me.
Let's pray that Brother Robert gets the role of Silky Good Dick. The film is called Holes on the Stroll. It sounds like a musical.
And then that's when the filmmaker was born. I said, man, we can't let Hollywood tell our stories. We have to tell our own stories. They'll make us do anything and everything. And these images travel around the world.
They had a perception of us that ultimately is false.
Once again, good morning, A-Game Nation. Shout out to the A-Game family and both subscribers, new and old. I want to say salute to you guys. Welcome back. You already know the deal. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos and content. With that being said, I'm going to get into it. Today's message is the fine art of prosperity watching. See, unlike the American pastime in this gynocentric society, especially, there are many people who make it a contact sport in pocket watching. The celebrated art of envy, coveting things of others. But when it comes to it, what they don't explain to you is that is insecurity. That's fear. Doubt in your abilities and who you are. That's putting the cart before the horse. Now, what I want to get into as far as prosperity watching. See, in the A-Game family, there are content creators, fellow content creators who are continuing to surpass their standards, their boundaries, and getting into their wave and their momentum. With myself, I've been here probably the shortest time. But the thing about prosperity watching is, think of yourself as an architect, surveying the territory, mainly surveying yourself, using the 10 life values as a blueprint. You start rebuilding many things within yourself, around yourself. Now, while my peers are starting to find their groove, elevate in the proper way, in their own way, as an architect, especially in the spiritual kind, I start looking at things of what they're doing, but see how I can incorporate that with myself. See, if I was on a loss value system, I would use their success as a means of seeing myself as insignificant, and I'm not. The thing is, when you're prosperity watching, you start viewing yourself as a vigilant vanguard of not just your vision, but that of others. You start applying seeds and materials into other people's vision as well as your own. You start actually building your people up as you share that same material to build back yourself, to burn away that doubt, to burn away the misinformation that most people say to you about you, but more importantly, to what you do to yourself. See, you have a choice. Using the 10 life values, you could be an architect, a valuable asset that builds not just yourself, but your people around you. That's why you see many great nations stand strong. This is why I use the analogy using the gardener and the warrior, because not only do you use the crops, that greatness, those gifts that you share and feed, not just yourself, but the people around you and beyond you. But you learn how to be that warrior. Protect your peers while they're growing. Whenever they have that level of self-doubt or subject to corrosive elements, you start speaking life into them. Remind them of who they are and their vision. Now on the other side, you continue to pocket watch. You're nothing more than an arsonist. Both the architect and the arsonist are skilled. But see, while one is meant to constructively tear down obstructions and build back up into something more productive, an arsonist will always find many weak points to burn everything down with him in spite of people, to spread fear, but ultimately burning themselves, destroying themselves. So if you go and think about agriculture, talk about seeds. And speaking of seeds, this is a game. This seed, infused with faith in myself, has helped change me within a solid year. Because beforehand, I was a completely different person. But what I'm asking of my peers, invest a sense of faith within yourself. This is nothing more than a tool. And this helps keep you disciplined. Gives you a restful sleep. While you're going out and building yourself back up and your peers, you start seeing that difference, giving you the energy to move forward, to be creative, to bring things into fruition as we were meant to do. You're not stuck being a slave to your vices. You're actually able to build people up in yourself by not just taking advice, but giving it back, being a senseless giver. So in closing, I wanted to give you guys a positive message today. While this channel is growing, while I'm learning to step outside my comfort zone and ask for help, which I'm not comfortable doing, but I'm starting to become that way. I'm encouraging you, take your time. Learn to understand and appreciate the necessity of the 10 life values. Mainly working on the internal 5 first. Spiritual, knowing yourself, understanding yourself. Bring yourself to the most optimum level possible. Then you talk about your health. Working on your vitality. And not just in the physical health, spiritual, mental. Dealing with the traumas, which happen to be the manure that most people tend to play with. You can use that same fertilizer in a proper way to help grow yourself like healthy crops. We talk about family, which is nothing more than a foundation of legacy. See, in this space, a lot of guys are shamed into being fathers, being actual brothers, men of principle and purpose and respect. But when it comes to being a brother to your peers, it says a lot. Because a lot of us are hurting out here. And what difference can you make when you start speaking life into your brothers out here? When you got brothers who wanted to quit. But in speaking encouragement to them, you see that not only they're flourishing, but you guys can go back and talk about, you know what, you remember when you said you wanted to throw in the towel? Aren't you glad you didn't? You start seeing the fruits of your labor. Especially when you start seeing organic fellowship. Then you talk about your appearance. Even when everything looks bleak, and you have people who have this fetish for fail and fear porn. You start tapping within and amongst each other. You say, you know what? We see what it is, and we remember we're meant to oppose environment. Everything that you see chaotic standing here isn't meant to stand. What are we going to do with the opportunity we have right here, right now? Lean to each other. Push each other to the next step. When they're able to trust you with their vision, and you add into it, that's how you establish trust. To eventually establish a trust to pass on to other people, to take that baton and move the game forward to the next level. Then we talk about your dwelling. See, when you're immersed in prosperity building, you create an environment of encouragement, motivation, where guys stop being traumatized by the insecurities. And they use those past traumas in order to heal while they build. Shout out to DS1. See, there are many great benefits in prosperity watching, because it does me good to see my peers, especially my people, grow, make things happen for themselves. Because like it or not, we've been talking for entirely too long. So in closing, you have a choice. How will you be remembered? As an ambitious architect? Or an ass-backward arsonist? Personally, I prefer to be an architect, because being an aimless arsonist, that's like wiping your butthole with sandpaper. You can get the job done, but at what cost? And you're going to lose your shit, literally. So with that being said, I want to say a shout out to everybody out there. I want you guys to have a phenomenal weekend. Go forth and prosper. Handle your business. You guys, if you have doubt within yourself, you can make something happen. But I'm encouraging you guys. A-game. This does help. Not only will you feel it, you will start to see things come out of this. Because even we say the faith of a mustard seed is a little bit bigger. But the things within you that were meant to be manifest, it's the right size. Great things come in small packages. We're talking about A-game, not other things. So shout out to you guys. I want you guys to have a great day. Leave in the comment section and hit the code Ronin10 and see for yourselves. I encourage you guys to try it. And this is from a guy who doesn't like ingesting. I have problems swallowing pills. But it's amazing, in this red pill space, you need to swallow the truth. You guys be easy. Simplify.